Good afternoon today, class, and I hope you all are having a good Thursday. And today we're going to be learning about why Grimmjow takes the role of a double-edged sword in Bleach Rebirth of Souls. So y'all sit down and pay the fuck attention to what I'm about to say. So the reason why I put Grimmjow in this type of category of the double-edged sword is because he plays off of two very important tools he has in his toolkit, and we're going to dive into that very soon. But first, before we do that, we have to understand what is the definition of a double-edged sword character in fighting games. So what these characters will tend to have is a certain tool or a certain move set that will work with them and against them at the same time. Now you're probably asking yourself, okay, how can I work against them if it's their tool? Well, again, these tools can harm them while they're using them, hence the double-edged sword. So basically you can use these moves for a certain amount of time, but it will cost you something. So it will literally be a cost out of you using these moves. It can either be health loss, meter loss, or something else. But out of them first two I just mentioned, it will most likely be them two, either health or meter loss. And in Grimmjow's case, he falls in this category. So let's go over his toolkit. And starting off with his first one, we have Impulse Gauge. Now what does Impulse Gauge does? Well, turn into Annihilation state for a certain period by charging Impulse Gauge to the maximum. Impulse Gauge will accumulate by receiving attacks or activating signature move. During Annihilation state, attack power will increase and some actions will change. Okay class, pay attention because this is important. He has his own entire install. Now, this doesn't make him an install character. He has an install, but this does not make him an install character. But overall, this will enhance his performance overall, just with this gauge in general. This is a big part. This is a big part of his game plan that y'all gonna have to pay attention to, is gauge. Now going on to his next tool, we have Preparation. Now, a technique that takes the stance by holding down input and charges the impulse gauge during the stance. By charging the impulse gauge to the maximum, Grimmjow will be in annihilation state for a certain period. So like I said earlier class, your whole entire plan is to resolve around the impulse gauge. Again, you have two different states. We're going to get into the other states soon, but this state right here is going to let you go into annihilation state. And for what it does, I'm pretty sure annihilation state is just going to be a state where he's more aggressive in. Now going on to his next tool, we have Kill Them and Spare No One. Turn into decimation state for a certain period of time by activating it. During the decimation state, each action will greatly be enhanced, but Grimmjow's Reishi will get damaged by his own attacks. So class, this is where this double-edged factor comes into play. He has two states, remember, but in this state right here, it takes away his Reishi, which is his health. Now, the longer he stays in this state, the more health he's going to get taken away from him. So remember, y'all, two states that he has and two states you need to constantly be into. We're going to describe which state will be the best one to be into later on in this video, so make sure y'all still pay attention. Okay class, there's no introduction needed. Y'all know what we do every lesson. We have his awakening. Now what does Grimmjow awakening does? Well, Grimmjow's performance is enhanced by releasing Panthera with Resurrection. The amount of Reishi and his damage will increase, as well as his explosive power will be enhanced during his annihilation state and decimation state. Now class, don't get it twisted, he is still going to lose health while he's in his decimation state, but remember, he's gaining a lot more health back while he's in his awakening, so you can use your decimation state more freely. And plus, while you're in your decimation state, your explosive power will be even stronger. So while you use annihilation and decimation at the same time, recycling them over and over, your pressure on your opponent will be unmatched and you can end up winning the match. So make sure y'all keep that in mind. So class, if you want to pick up this character, you need to first understand his pros and cons, especially his cons, because this is the type of character that won't have a lot of health. He's not going to have a lot of health because he has a lot of strong tools in his arsenal that's going to cause him not to have a lot of health. So you have to first realize, okay, what is the right thing that I'm going to have to do when I play with this character? You got to think to yourself, imagine the opponents that you go against. Imagine if you whiff the move, they can probably one-shot you or two-shot you. And mind you, this character is going to be a lot more technical than some other characters purely because of his states. Again, Annihilation and Decimation State is the priority of his gameplay, plus his impulse gauge. So if you pick up this character, y'all need to make sure y'all utilize his gauge and consistently recycle y'all states over and over, so y'all can keep y'all opponent to keep guessing. Now, with that being said, we have his stats, and as you can see, everything is tied up with each other except for the technique and skills and reach and range. And as you see, his ease of use is 3. Like I said, he's going to be technical, so you need to make sure you take the time to learn this character. Don't just pick him up because he's cool, because he's definitely cool, but you need to understand how to use his character first before you do that. But overall, his stats is pretty good. So class, with all that being said, that marks the end of this lesson, and I hope that you took something away from this video and that you just got a visualizing understanding of this character. And I truly hope that when this game comes out, I can see what y'all are working with, because best believe I'm gonna make sure I know everything. But that's just for me, that's just me. We may be cut differently, but I am curious to see what y'all have planned. But what I need y'all to do is like, subscribe, and share this video. We are on the road to 100 subscribers. And before y'all leave, make sure y'all don't slam my doors. I'll see y'all next video.
ごきげんよう。